Also, AMFM247.com, and we have got a great guest with us today. He is going to be part of the Red Shed Music Series coming up here in the month of June, actually June 25th. It's going to be a great Saturday out at the Red Shed. Alastair Greene joins us here on our big program. Alastair, welcome to the broadcast. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
So, you are going to be part of this big show at the Red Shed. Tell me a little bit about this performance and everything we can expect out there from this big show.
Oh, man, we're just excited to be getting into some new markets, coming to some new places. I recently relocated to Austin, Texas, so I'm now touring out of Austin. And, I've moved here from Southern California because all the gigs are out here, and I'm looking forward to bringing some blues rock to all y'all.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got guitarist, singer, songwriter Alastair Greene with us today. He's been a mainstay of the Southern California music scene for close to 3 decades, and he joins us today here on our big broadcast. So, Alastair, tell me a little bit about your musical heroes and your influences.
Oh, man, well, that goes back to, obviously the early days growing up listening to the Beatles and whatnot, my mom's music collection. But, I was a hard rock kid in the late 70s, early 80s. And at a certain point in the mid to late 80s, I got exposed to blues and blues rock, and that's kind of where I've lived as a musician. I've gotten to do a bunch of other stuff over the years, but mostly blues and blues rock. And as far as those inspirations and influences, it goes back to some of the early records that I was loaned and given when I was younger. So, the first few Stevie Ray Vaughan records, B.B. King, Live at the Regal, Buddy Guy, Johnny Winter, Allman Brothers Band, all that kind of stuff really kind of got me inspired to learn how to play this music. And, I could sit here and list great musicians and records all day, but those are the ones that really kind of set me off on this musical journey,
Alastair Greene with us today. He is going to be part of a big show coming up June 25th at the Red Shed here in Hutchinson, Kansas. Saturday, June 25th. You're going to want to get your tickets. They start at $20, and this is a show you will not forget. Alastair Greene joins us today here on the telephone, talking a little bit about his music and everything else. So what originally got you interested in doing this music thing, man?
Oh, I enjoyed playing guitar going way back, and I played other instruments, when I was younger, but it just really came from a love of learning and performing and playing, and, I got enough green lights over the course of the last, 20, 30 years to keep pursuing it. I think as professional musicians, you kind of need a little bit of reassurance along the way, and so along the way I've gotten to do some really cool things that have encouraged me to keep going and think that I'm not actually crazy for doing this. And I just love playing, man, and I love, the blues and blues rock genre, just very expressive music, and it's a lot of fun to perform. And also, quite honestly, I just love the fans and the people that come out and support this kind of music. And, man, I just can't get enough, and it's just so much fun to perform, and especially now, I've been out on tour for about the last year, but, before that, we all had to take some time off, and so right now it's just a really great time to get back out to performing and playing for people.
That's awesome. Alastair Greene with us today. He joins us here on our big program, and of course he's going to be part of the Red Shed Music Series coming up in June. So you have been all over the country. Talk to me a little bit about playing the Red Shed, because this is going to be this is, I believe, your first time out there.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm going to be there. I'm really looking forward to it. I actually, just last night I went and had dinner with Mike Zito and Albert Castiglia, who I think are going to be there in just a few days. And
yes,
they're playing at Antone's tonight. I'm going to go sit in with those guys tonight at Antone's. But I was talking to them about it, and I was like, hey, man, let me know how it goes at the Red Shed. So, yeah, man, no, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. A lot of these, like I said, I just moved out here, and a lot of these are new venues to me, and I'm really looking forward to, playing. I've only heard good things about it, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I know also I think Lance Lopez is coming up, so it's cool. I'm seeing a lot of friends and colleagues and guys that I really dig musically coming through, and so hopefully we can, get the blues rock coming in and out of the Red Shed on a regular basis.
So, what motivated you to make the move from California out there to Austin?
Mainly just as a place to tour out of. I mean, I love Southern California. It's where I grew up and where I cut my teeth on music, and I accomplished a lot for living out there. But really, if you want to tour and play this kind of music, it's just a hard place to be unless you've got a lot bigger name and a lot bigger gigs to get you out to the middle of the country. If you look at it, really the touring for this kind of music, anything roots related, blues rock related, southern rock related, the majority of the gigs are basically from Austin to the Eastern Seaboard if you want to tour, and that's just the way it is. There's lots of desert out west, and a big mountain range, and so there's just not as many opportunities to get out and tour and make a living doing this and and carve a career, as they say. So Austin just kind of popped up on the map for me. Obviously, I knew about the history of the music in this town, and I knew some people here, and I some old friends here that are other Californian transplants. So it kind of seemed like the first logical choice. And so here I am, man. It's only been a few months, but I'm digging it, and I'm looking forward to starting to do some touring out of here and check out the music scene here as well. There's a lot of great music going on in Austin on a nightly basis, a lot of great musicians. So there's a lot of inspiration here to be had as well.
This is going to be a show you will not forget. It's Alastair Greene, Saturday, June 25th at the Red Shed. Tickets are $20, and you can get them on the Facebook page, also eventbrite.com as well. So we are going to play some of your music here. Tell me a little bit about Living Today. This is quite a track, my friend.
Well, the newest record, I should say, it came out in October 2020, was produced by Tab Benoit for his record label, Whiskey Bayou Records. And he actually played drums and helped me write a few of the songs. And much of the touring that I've been doing the last year has been opening for Tab out on the road. But Living Today is the first song on the record. The record's called The New World Blues, produced by Tab Benoit, and it was the first song we worked on and recorded. And it was written in early 2020 or late 2019, and it was just kind of a kind of a song about really about letting your love and letting positivity kind of guide you through the tough times. And it's weird sometimes how songs take on new and more important meaning as time goes on. And I think this song has really kind of held up and taken on a more important meaning, just getting through the hard times and getting back into the swing of things. So, yeah, man, it's one of my favorite songs on the record. For sure.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to do this. We're going to put you on a brief hold. We are going to play Living Today. And when we come back, we'll keep chatting with Alastair Greene, who's going to be part of the Red Shed here in the month of June. Right now, it's Living Today. It's Alastair Greene, and it's here on our big program. Living Today. And he joins us today here on our big program, and he's going to be part of a huge show at the Red Shed coming up June 25th at 8 p.m. Tickets are $20, and you better get them early because I think this show will sell out. He is a phenomenal guitar player. So tell us a little bit about how you got started playing guitar. What was the influence there, my friend?
Well, early on in my life, I'd taken, piano lessons for a few years, like a lot of kids. I actually played saxophone for nearly a decade, in elementary school, junior high, high school. Sometime in junior high, I started getting interested in hard rock. And, I was already interested in that, but I wanted to start playing, and I actually played bass for a couple years, just because the band director in junior high had a bass in his office, and I borrowed it to try and learn how to play Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden songs.
That's awesome.
But when I started playing guitar when I was a freshman in high school, and along the same lines, I grew up, in Southern California, so there was a lot of great hard rock guitar players coming out of LA at that time, Eddie Van Halen and the like, and so I was very much into that kind of music in the early to mid '80s. So that's when I started playing guitar. I just really wanted to chase after that kind of music, that kind of playing. And, a few years of that, after that is when I kind of got exposed to blues and blues rock. But, guys like Eddie Van Halen, there was a guy named Jakey Lee who played with Ozzy Osbourne, and a guy named Vivian Campbell, who was a great Irish guitar player, played in Dio and some other bands. And, I just really kind of liked the aggression and the just how well those guys played guitar, and it just made me interested in wanting to pursue that. And there was something in all those guys' playing that at the time I didn't really know what it was, but come to find out, all those guys were into, Jimmy Page and Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck, and in the case of Vivian Campbell, Rory Gallagher and Gary Moore. And so when I got into those things, those, bands and those players, that all kind of made a lot more sense to me. And then I got into blues, and it was kind of easy to sort of, at that point, sort of see how guitar progressed and, got to all these different styles. And I was just really inspired. I still am inspired to get on the guitar and learn stuff and practice and say it's a lot of fun. And so those were kind of like the early influences that kind of led me down the road to where I am today.
Well, you are amazing, my friend. Alastair Greene.
I wouldn't go that far, but thank you so much.
Alastair Greene with us today. He's going to be part of the Red Shed Music Series Saturday, June 25th, and tickets start at $20, and you will need to get them early because this will sell out. It is a huge show. Now, you were part, which is amazing to me, you were lead guitarist and co-lead vocalist of the Alan Parsons Live project from 2010 to 2017. You guys literally toured the entire world. Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, that was a really fun experience for me. I didn't really grow up with that music. Obviously, Alan was involved with, Pink Floyd and the Beatles, and I was aware of him as a an engineer and producer and stuff like that. And I was aware of some of his songs, over the years growing up listening to classic rock radio. But I ended up getting that gig as a guitar player because I met him. He moved to the town that I used to live in Southern California, Santa Barbara. So I met him, and I played on, a session at his home studio for somebody. And so I just kind of met him organically like that. And that was like in the early 2000s. And then around 2010, he wanted to kind of revamp his band. And so he asked me to play guitar. And so, I played guitar with him for 7 years. And it was interesting because, I probably wasn't like the ideal guy for that gig because I come from a much more kind of, blues, rock, improvisation-based, background. But, I had listened to a lot of progressive music and pop. I actually, I'm a little bit schooled. I went to the Berklee College of Music in Boston for a couple of years. So I learned a little bit about reading and theory and yada, yada, yada. So it was a challenging gig for me just to, learn a lot of the solos off the record and, sing, with a lot of, 3-4 part harmonies. But it was a great experience. It was great working for Alan. And it was, even though it wasn't necessarily the kind of music that I'd envisioned, playing or that I was really into, it was an amazing opportunity to really learn how to perform, at that level, be able to go out and play big, giant shows, deal with in-ear monitors, travel. And it was marvelous. It was a good 7 years. It wasn't a heavy touring act. Alan, I think at the most, like 2013 through 2016, we do 50 shows a year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but there was a lot of, fly-in dates. So one show could take 3 days if it was in Tel Aviv, Israel, or something like that. So, it kept me busy. It was a great opportunity, but at the end of the day, at the end of that, I really appreciated it, but I wanted to play music that was closer to my heart. And, it was, like I said, I learned a lot, had a great experience, but, come 2017, I was really ready to kind of focus on either playing, my music, the blues rock stuff, or playing, music that was more blues related. I toured with Sugar Ray Rayford, the soul blues singer, for a year, 2018-19. Sorry to be name dropping. I'm just
no,
letting you know.
You're good. You're good.
But it was, it was fun, man. It was really fun, and I, still have friends in the band and whatnot, and it's interesting because it's not really related to what it is that I do musically, but it was a great opportunity,
Fantastic. We have got Alastair Greene with us today. The next track we're going to play here is Lies and Fear. Tell me a little bit about Lies and Fear.
Well, musically, that song came kind of as a combination of, just trying to find a song that was very riff-oriented in a, in kind of a blues, in like a blues rock context. There's a Luther Snakeboy Johnson song called Woman Don't Lie that was kind of partly inspiration for this. There's a Gary Moore song called Umbrella Man that was part inspiration for this. There's a Rare Earth song called I Just Want to Celebrate. So I really wanted to kind of write something along those lines where it just had a riff that kind of was powerful and repeated. And then lyrically, it was written just, at a time when, and it's still confusing watching TV, listening to the news. It's just, it's the world's a complicated place, and sometimes it's kind of hard to know which way to go, who to believe, what not to believe. So it's sort of a combination of blues rock and trying to make your way, figuring out what's best and what to believe for yourself.
That's awesome. Well, we are going to play this track, and when we come back, we will wrap it up with Alastair Greene. Right now, it's Lies and Fear, and it's here on our program.
Come on down to the river and jump in. Come on down to the river, wash away your sin. Don't know why you're still here. All you spread are lies and fear. Come on down to the mission and take a knee. Come on down to the mission for the world to see. Don't know why you're still here. All you spread are lies and fear.
That is a heck of a track. It is Lies in Fear. It's Alastair Greene. He joins us today here on our big program. So as we wrap up here with you, Alastair, how do people buy your music and get involved with what you're doing, man?
You know, the best thing to do would be to go to my website, which is alastairgreene.com. If you can spell
Fantastic.
my name, you can also take a shortcut there and go to agsongs.com. That's got all the links and stuff to all my records. The new record, The New World Blues, is on whiskeybayourecords.com, as well as some singles that we recorded for that record. So, you know, the internet is a powerful tool. You can also find me on my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, getting to my website, got all the links, got all the info, and tour dates, and all that good information, man. That's the best thing to do.
Good stuff. Well, brother, you are amazing. I cannot wait to see you at the Red Shed. It is going to be a huge, huge show coming up Saturday, June 25th. Thanks for doing this, brother, and we will talk to you soon. Have yourself a blessed
Hey, man,
day.
thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate your time.
Definitely. Have yourself a wonderful day. There he goes. That is Alastair Greene. He joins us here on our big program Saturday, June 25th